Okay, so what did you think of Marvel's Eternals?
Well, Cap, it missed us. We weren't in it, so.
Yeah. No, not even many mentions. There weren't many mentions of the Avengers. There was one at the dining scene. That was cool, but they kind of did their own thing with it. They didn't go too deep into Avengers, Marvel, MCU lore, which is cool. It's cool. It's different.
But they did mention our fellow friendly competitors a bunch of times.
Who? Not the Fantastic Four?
No.
Or the X-Men?
I mean, the Justice League.
Oh, yes. There were a lot of DC references in this one. There were two. We had a Superman and a Batman one. Although I already can't remember where the Batman one was.
Batman was about the sidekick. The Big Bang Theory's guy's sidekick.
Yeah, he says you always bring your valet around, and then they're like, oh, valet like Alfred to Batman. Yeah. And then they kept calling Richard Madden's character Superman. That was cool. And he did like fly and have Superman's powers, and even the effects were very like Zack Snyder-y and like you said, DC film.
Felt like a DC movie. Except for then also, I felt Icarus kind of felt like Homelander.
Oh, I didn't even think of the boys, but now going back, just seeing him, just the way he would fly in and just touch down gently.
And not even just that, the way he ripped the thing's face open and shot lasers right in the
eye. Down into his throat. Like Godzilla's done that a couple times in some movies. Right, ripping the jaw open. Yeah, he did.
That in the new one.
And in the 2014 one too. Yeah, wait, let's talk about the monsters, I guess. I thought that they were totally badass compared to past Marvel monsters and enemies. Like they blew the Chitauri away. Like I never thought the Chitauri felt like threatening, even though I love like Avengers. But whenever I see
New York is great.
Yeah, New York's great, but still they're just like cutting through the Chitauri like butter, just trying to save people. Like that's the whole thing, is that like the Avengers can like kick the Chitauri's ass, but like there's a million of them and they got to save people. But the Eternals were just being hunted by these like demon-looking like
space lizards.
Yeah. They were like literally like they were gross. Like I felt grossed out when I would see one of those. What were they called?
The Deviants.
Deviants, yes, Deviants. There's Deviants, there's Variants, there's a lot of Ints.
Multiverse.
And what else? Isn't there another?
And the Celestials.
And the Celestials.
The Celestials are gonna... it has a lot of repercussions for what's gonna happen in the MCU dealing with the Celestials in this, I bet. The next few movies are probably gonna deal with it.
Like, I thought this seemed like it's going to be as big of a deal as, like, when Doctor Strange is going to, like, multiverse the world in the new Spider-Man movie. This was, like, on that level. Like, spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, like, a robot, like, comes out of Earth, and, like, it's, like, a big deal for the planet, probably, because, like, satellites and social media, and everyone's going to see this.
And then when at the end, the Celestial even shows up.
Yeah. I was like, what? And the whole time, or not the whole time, I shouldn't say, but in the beginning of the movie, I was like, I looked to you, and I was like, is that Galactus? Or Galacticus? I don't know. Galactus. Is Galactus a Celestial?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah, Galactus is a Celestial.
See, now that makes sense, because this whole time I was just like, he has the same design as him, but that's not him. But maybe it's going to be him.
Well,
but
they actually showed Galactus for like 2 seconds in one of them.
Oh, yes, you pointed that out.
They had his... It could have been him. They showed the head thing that Galactus has. His crown.
Helmet.
Helmet, yeah. But the Celestials look a lot creepier than I expected, so I think if they end up doing a Galactus, he's not going to be as boring as I originally thought he was going to be.
You originally thought Galactus would be boring?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because he's just a planet devourer, and there's no real like motivation besides he's hungry.
Oh, okay. In the comics?
I was going
to ask you, because you're more comic friendly than I am with lore and everything. How do you fight him? Like, because he's so big. So like when they show him in the comics and in cartoons being fought, is it like a bunch of little heroes, like all punching him at the same time, or do they shrink him to fight? Like, how do you fight a Celestial? I wouldn't even just say Galactus. How do you fight a Celestial?
Tricking it. I'm pretty sure is normally how it's done.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll see that in upcoming movies.
Which is kind of what they did in this anyway, in a way. They not really trick it, but...
Who was your favorite Eternal?
My favorite Eternal is either Sprite or Gilgamesh.
Which one was Gilgamesh?
Gilgamesh was the super strong Chinese guy.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah, did they kill him off first? Wait, let's talk about that real quick.
Oh,
like
yeah.
in all the MCU movies, I never like have a fear of like people gonna get killed off, and this was the first MCU movie where I was like, I don't know who's gonna make
Yeah.
it out at the end. I don't know who's gonna die.
But
The stakes were it was
it's
cool.
pretty high
Like, I
stakes.
really didn't know what to expect, and that's a first.
There was two major deaths in the whole thing of major characters, basically, and it was really good
Yeah.
because of that.
Oh wait, at the end, let's talk like briefly about the Indian guy. I forget his character's name, but like he totally dips out on the climax scene. And in most movies, like he always like in most movies, like when a character
You think
leaves
he's
right
come
before
back.
the end, they're gonna come back at the end and like throw a punch or two. And the guy totally fucks off and doesn't make an appearance until like literally the climax is over.
Until
And
the wrap-up.
he just gets a pass for it. Like the Eternals at the end of the movie, you know, they're fighting each other, they're fighting the monsters, they're fighting the big
Celestials.
Celestial, and even Angelina Jolie's character every now and then, like they have to fight her, and he could have been there to like help because they were struggling at the end, of course, like any climax should be. And if he was there to throw his little Kamehameha things. Kamehameha, actually,
Kamehameha.
yeah, he really would have helped, and it would have made everything go a lot smoother. Instead, he leaves because he's like, "Yeah, there's no hope," and then he shows up at the end, and no one mentions anything. I guess he should just get a pass for that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, what if your family, man, is fighting somebody that he doesn't want to be part of domestic?
I mean, he
It's like,
didn't even
yeah,
say my bad though, but
That's true, he did it.
no big deal. I'm just saying he was very powerful. I thought his powers were cool. I thought all the Eternals had cool powers. It's just cool that there was really no main character, but like we still got the cool ensemble, and I felt like we've been with these characters for like 20 movies, and I know them, but
It's
like
true.
they like 2.5 hours, and
2.5, yeah.
we got a beginning, middle, end. We got to learn everyone. We got to learn their characters and characters.
Powers and
Powers
characters.
of the characters, and nothing. Yeah, just nothing felt rushed. So yeah, what would you give it out of a 10? What would you say?
Probably about a 9.
9? Okay. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would say probably an 8. Just 'cause some of my favorite movies I give 9s, and this was very enjoyable, but not one of my favorites. But yeah, I would say 8. I would say 8 or 9.
This is the most different,
7 through 9.
most different feeling MCU movie that there's
Yeah,
been.
we kept saying it felt like a Snyder, or no, it just felt like a
DC
just
movie
a
in
DC
general.
movie in general. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Pete and Cap signing off.
Pete and Caps. Did you just say your name was Pete? Oh.